Okay, this lesson talk, we're going to go over the concept of movable chords. This is the single most important thing you can learn from all this music theory. Um, it is very powerful, and the objective is that up till now you've learned by rote memory various chords that I'm showing here. You've pretty much stayed at the top of the fretboard. Um, but what I'm going to give you will empower you to play anywhere on the neck. You can find your own chords very quickly, and it's through using the concept of movable chords. So let's look at your fretboard. Let's take a familiar chord. Let's take the A chord. So this is where you put your fingers on the A chord. And the thing I want to point out is that you've got two open strings. So I want to introduce a new concept. Um, and I'm calling it the A shape. So this is the A chord, but what I'm showing you here is the A chord shapes because when I move, if I decide to move the A chord this way, I have to move the open notes as well. They have to all go together. So this would be our A. Oh, sorry. This is our A shape. And if I move the A shape up one fret, I am now actually playing an A sharp chord or a B flat chord. Uh, at some point, we would have actually taught you this is B flat chord. That's pretty common. And if I moved it up one more, this is a B chord. One more becomes a C chord. This is a C sharp chord, D chord. You kind of get where we're going, right? So um, if I'd said, hey, let's start out with your A chord and go find me the G chord, right? You could go A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. Okay, that's one way to do it, and that works. Okay, but okay, I'm gonna plant a new idea in your head now. Let's turn that one off. Let's see. I'm gonna show you something else, and we're gonna identify the roots. So the root of an A chord is of course A. So what I want to look at is where is the A note in my chord? In this particular example, it's in two locations. We have the A note on the second fret of the G string, but we also have it on uh, the open string A. Okay, so with that in mind, let me show you something. Turn that off. That okay. With this A shape, if I move the root, and you can move either root because they're the same. If I move the root to A sharp, it becomes an uh, A sharp chord. Let's move it to B, it's more obvious. So I move the root to B. Now this is a B chord. And if you look, both roots move the same. No surprise, that's how it works. So if in this case I said, use the A shape, use the A shape to find the G chord, what you can do is, okay, you know the shape. Okay, I'm gonna go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm gonna move it to the 10th fret. So just move the whole shape straight to the 10th fret. you are playing a G chord because the root has changed to G. Okay, that's very powerful. So I said, okay, play a G and then an F, then you just go, okay, G, F, boom. You've got an instant F chord. That's an F chord you didn't even know you had. So, okay, that's the concept. So let's try a different chord. Let's do an A minor chord. There's your A minor. Well, if I look at the A minor shape, let's look at that. The A minor shape is you got to fill in the open strings, right? And turns out that the A minor chord has the same roots. The A minor shape has the same roots as the A chord did. So same thing. If I said, hey, I want to play if I want to find a B minor chord, let's move the root to B. So boom, B minor. Well, you know what? We taught you this shape, right? If you look at your chord, if you look at your chord chart, sorry, where's B minor? B minor. This is what we taught you for B minor. What you didn't realize is that it was based on an A minor shape, just moved. So I said, okay, let's find uh, another version of E minor. Well, you can use this. Take the root to E. Here's E. That's an E minor chord because you moved the root to E. Okay? Let's do one more example. So we did a A major chord. We just did the A minor chord. Let's do the A7 chord. Okay, there's an A7, right? And I'm already showing. In this case, you notice that there's only one root. We lost this one because this finger moved back. So here's your A7 shape. So if I said, let's find B7, I moved the root to B. That's your B7 chord. And where's your B7 on here? Oh, we didn't we do B7? I thought we did B7. Okay, never mind. That is B7 chord. Same thing. You can do a C7, D7, right? E7 because I'm moving the root. Okay. So that's the concept. One thing I want to tell you is you can do this pretty much with any chord. The thing you have to do is make sure you move the any open strings you have to make the shape and move it up. So what you do is you make the shape, identify the root, and then move the root a lot where it needs to be, and that changes what the chord is. So let's go look at your normal chord chart. So you can do this with any of these chords. So let's take a look at C. The thing that's going to change is which string the root is. So that's why we've gone through all this exercise to figure out what note is where on for every chord, because that's what gives you the skill to say where's the root on this chord. In the particular case of C, C is actually where you put your finger here. So you'd have to move the open strings and then move your C shape, right? We just did A minor. You can do it with F. In the case of F, um, the root is on your E string, okay, and then you just have to bar it up here. So these all work out. Now what you're going to find, so you could do a D minor, G minor, C7, D. We just did A. If I look at E minor, you're going to find E minor is actually the D minor shape. Okay, so that's, you're familiar with E minor. Usually we only do the 3 fingers, but this is the proper E minor with 4 fingers. And it's because it's based on the D minor shape. Here's G. You can move G up. B flat is just A moved up. So this is already this is your A shape moved up one. D7, same thing. It's a C7 already moved up. So this is already a moved shape. B minor we also went through. It's the A minor moved up 2 frets. The E chord is D moved up 2 frets. Okay. You got C minor and F minor. You probably won't move this one. This is, your fingers will be too spread out. So anyway, that is the concept of movable chords. It's very powerful. I want you to practice it regularly. And your first homework assignment, I want you to do this, is take the main chord progression for Moon Song, which is D minor, G, and C. And I want you to find chords that you can play up here. And I'll give you a hint, you cannot use the D minor, G, or C shapes to get there, because what you'll find is you'll be playing way up here. So, but find another minor chord that you're used to find the D minor. Find another major chord you're used to find G and C. So also a general rule, you use major chords to find other major chords, minor chords to find minor chords, and 7 chords to find 7 chords. Okay? So that is the trick. Play around with it. Find D minor, G, and C somewhere else on the fretboard, anywhere above, anywhere in this area. Okay? Talk to you later.